everybody, thank you for joining me on my first episode of my drunk K-drama review, Itaewon class. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a brief review of Itaewon class, and then I'm going to tell you what I think of it, okay? Amanda and the Wandering Panda, which is the same person, does not approve of underage drinking and does approve of drinking responsibly. So if you are of age, drink responsibly. Okay, so this does include spoilers. So if you have not watched Itaewon class, you might want to watch it before watching my review. So if you watched Itaewon class, you can now continue. Itaewon class is an amazing story of Park Saeroyi. Park Saeroyi, he is a guy who he does not care what anybody thinks. He just knows what he wants and he goes with it. And he does have a big heart though, which I really appreciate, including the part where he meets Suwa. Park Saeroyi, he goes and transfers schools. While he is transferring schools, he meets Suwa, who was a mean girl. She tried to push down a homeless man and almost hurt him, but Park Saeroyi was like, no you don't, girl. You gotta treat these people with respect. And she was like, what? And then, while in school, Park Saeroyi met this guy named Gwon-woo. Gwon-won was like, so, I'm gonna beat up this guy. And because I'm rich and famous, and I don't care what the school principal and what the teacher says. And Park Saeroyi was like, I don't think so. You are not going to beat up this guy. And so they got into altercation. And with this altercation came Park Saeroyi getting his father called to the school. And when Park Saeroyi's father, let's call him Mr. Park, because that's what they call him throughout the film series, Mr. Park, he agreed with his son, Park Saeroyi, what you should do. He said, I agree with what my son is doing. I will resign from the company, which is good for making food, because I agree with what my son's doing instead. And Park Saeroyi was like, no, don't do that. I'm fine. But his father, Mr. Park, was like, no, I will go ahead and take responsibility too, along with you, and quit my job. And so, the father of the Jung Enterprise was like, you cannot do that. You need to apologize to my son on your knees. Park Saeroyi was like, who do you think you're talking to, sir? And said, I will not apologize. And they did not do that. So he got expelled. His father was the most proud that he's ever been of his son for standing up for himself, because he never got to do that. And he always wanted to be a father for somebody who would stand up for themselves. They ended up making their own pub, and when his father, Mr. Park, was out getting deliveries, he died. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He died. And Park Saeroyi was so sad too. And so Park Saeroyi sent out on revenge on these people, because they were like, they had no remorse. And guess who killed Park Saeroyi's parent? His father, Mr. Park. It was that kid who was bullying Won. He was the bully, and he was the killer. Park Sari went to the hospital where Gwanwon was and went to go beat him up. He wanted to kill him, and Suwa went with the police officer and stopped him from killing Gwanwon. And then he ended up going to prison for abuse of Gwanwon. How messed up is that, I ask you? And when he went to prison, Suwa visited him and said, "Oh, I feel so guilty. I am sorry." But at the same time, she went to work for Sean Industries. How can you do that? How can you do that? And so Park Sari, he went and he was motivated by revenge. And so he set out to be stronger than Mr. Guan and his enterprise of food industries and bars. And so he first had to go out on a ship and get all that done. You know, he had to work and save his money. Once he saved his money, he opened a shop in Itaewon class, which was a bar. Shop, bar, same difference, right? You serve some food, you serve some beers. And then he got some employees. Hyungi was the first one. I don't know if necessarily the first one, but she was there. Hyungi did not feel comfortable in her skin. She appeared as a man to the outside industry. But it was found out that she is actually more comfortable being a woman, which way to go, Yoongi. Right. And so she looks beautiful as a woman, by the way. Beautiful. If I could look as great as Hyungi, that would be amazing. Then there was his second employee, Sungwon. He was in prison with Park Sari, and he learned from Park Sari that his life is worth something. So he ended up working with Park Sari. Then he met Yiso. Yiso changed his world in unexpected terms. Yiso knew what she was doing because she's been to all these pubs before. She was a high schooler at the point that they met, but she knew what she was getting into. She liked Park Sari and was not afraid to show it. At first she was, but you get it. At the end, she was like, "I love you, Park Sari. You're gonna love me too." Park Sari set out to become the most popular pub in South Korea. And it became a little bit of a tangle because Suwa, who was his first love, worked for Chung Industries. And she wanted to marry somebody who was rich and take care of her, while Yiso wanted to help out who she loved and fight for his beliefs and make him who he wanted to be by being by his side. And at first Park Sari was like, "I do not love you, Yiso. I love Suwa." And that made Yiso run away with sadness. Eventually, he was able to realize his love for Suyo and defeat the Mad Company, Chung Industries, by rising above them, promoting his pub as a franchise. After some bad dealings, that is. But he was able to get through it and rise above, and he came out on top like a baller, right in the industry. Now, that's the end of the story, basically. Now, here comes my review. I wish that Itaewon class would have had a love story between Hyung-yi and Sungwon because they are two great characters, and I felt sexual tension in between the two. Leave a comment below if you also felt a tension between the two characters, because it was obvious to me and they should have showed it more. Sure, he took Hyungi to the movies, but come on. They had to have gone another step. She had her surgery. She was set to go. They had to have gone to the next step, right? Hyungi had the hardest time. Hyungi knew who she was inside, but have a hard time expressing it on the outside. She got to the point where, I don't care what you think about me. I'm gonna be me. And I think she's better for it. She's gonna find the love of her life, which I hope is going to be Seung-won, because he, on the other hand, had a very rough life living in prison and thinking that he's not going to be the best human, but he ends up being very thoughtful, very caring, very loyal person, and he fought for his beliefs. And I think that he is strong enough that if he loves Hyungi, he would be strong enough person that she needs to love her. The boy who was bullied at first, I think that Hojin did a great job of saying that he's not going to let the bullies get to him, that he lives above them, and even though it's still scary being at his age and remembering his past, because you never get over your past, but you can learn from your past and still rise above it. I think he did an amazing job. Gwon-sol, he was the brother of the bully. And so for him, I feel that I wish that he wasn't a bad guy, because in his heart, I know that he's a nice guy. I kind of wish that Seo could love two guys, because Park Sori and also Gwon-sol would have been perfect for her. And Gwon-sol loved her so much that he tried his hardest to be a member of the Chung Industries and fight for that for her. He said anything that she needed, he would do. And I hope that he becomes a better person and uses that to exceed in both the industry of business and food, and also with love, because he needs somebody who's gonna love him no matter what. Also, doesn't he look like Jin from BTS? Like, is it just me, or does he not look like Jin from BTS? Tony, which I'm sorry, I forgot to include in the previous aspect. He knew he was Korean. When you know your past, it's enveloped in you. And Tony knew he was Korean. He found his grandma and developed a relationship with his grandma. And he ended up running a great business, learning English, which he didn't know, which was a funny aspect of it. But he has so many layers to him. He got the family he needed. He earned the language that he needed to learn to exceed in business, which in his case was English. That's not everybody's case. But he's going to have a great life, Tony. Kim Tony, I feel very confident in him. As far as Suwa goes, I think that it's great that she owned her own business and had a young hottie apply for the cook position, you just know that they're gonna have a love story between those two. Do you think there's gonna be a season 2? I hope there's a season 2. Yusol, she fought hard, man. She fought very hard for what she believed in, which was Paksori, and that she knew that she was strong enough, smart enough to bring that pub to a spot where they could succeed. And she got the man, she got her dreams. Paksori, he overcome the revenge aspect. He did do his revenge by getting Jung Industries. And he got his girl of his life, Yisol, which is right, in my opinion. And he knows that even if he has a busy schedule, he can spend time with Yisol. And he is happy about that. He is going to be on a good track. I feel happy for him. I think that it was beautiful how they tied his story together, that he ended up accepting his father's death, and he won over Chung Industries by taking the Chung Industries into his own self. And I think that he was a very inspiring character, somebody who I could watch over and over again and never get bored. He did an amazing job as Paksori, and it was amazing, flawless. I think that he could be nominated for an Emmy if it was on America television. I'm not exactly sure what equivalent of an Emmy is in Korea, but he should be nominated for whatever that is. I thought that Itaewon Class is a TV drama that everybody should watch because it has a very inspiring message, which you can get through anything, including our recent quarantine. That is freaking hard, but we can all get through it and become greater and better people. And as Park already said, you saeroyi, as Park saeroyi said, you can get through anything. Well, he didn't say that. He said that your days may seem boring, but you never know what will happen tomorrow. That's exactly true. You never know what will happen tomorrow. You'll learn from it no matter who you are. You can find somebody you relate to and go from there. I think Paksori is the most relatable character just because he is the main character, but from there on it just splits. Everybody can find somebody to relate to. And by the way, if Itaewon does not receive a high influx of tourism, I'm dumbfounded because I personally want to go to those stairs that Park Sori runs up and down, meets with different people on, and like spends his whole life at. Like, if you've been to those stairs, tell me because I need to go. Where are they at and how do I get to them? From that, I recommend it. 2 thumbs up. From Amanda and the Wandering Panda, 2 thumbs up. If you watched Itaewon Class, leave down below what you think. And if you liked this series, leave a thumbs up so that I know to create more in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a great day. And bye. Thank you.